on the team. We got Eddie.
No, you know what? Fuck it. We're doing the music video. Hi. So, super quick explanation. This is Matheo. He does not know almost anything about 21 Pilots lore. This is Ellie, my cousin, who knows a bit more about 21 Pilots lore. And this is me. Hi. I know a lot about this. Anyways, enjoy the video.
Yeah.
Okay, it's there.
Basically, the last one was
A Paladin Straight.
Paladin straight jacket. And that's where we left off. You know that story about like the bishops? Yeah. They took almost all of them down. You can see them all dead except for Nico, who causes a blurry face.
Yeah.
His, basically, because it's really like his insecurities.
Yeah. Anyways, the contract premiere. I don't know if I'm ready. It's been about a year and a half.
Whoa.
Oh, well, no, a year something.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, Clancy.
Oh, this sounds so sick already.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blinds. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. And I'm just trying to stay quiet. I don't sleep much, that's crazy. How do you
This
know
cinematography is so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
I used to sleep.
Oh my god. This sounds so cool. Whoa.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The scream.
The vocals are so good.
He has such a good voice.
Yeah.
Genuinely such a good voice. Guys. Oh.
Oh my god. The cinematography on this is so crazy.
And I'm just trying to stay quiet.
That's so cool.
How did they film this? The editing is so dynamic.
It's so crazy.
It feels
That's
3D.
crazy. How you know that? Ooh, promises and contracts. I used to keep.
Oh my god.
This is incredible.
I used to sing.
Oh, what is happening?
Oh no!
Just take the day.
Oh.
I promised you a contract.
Hold on.
A contract? I promise you a
The
contract?
Torchbearer theme.
What happened at the concert?
Yeah.
At the last concert? Normally he takes the jacket.
That's it?
What happened? Oh, that's it.
That's it. What do you mean? Okay, hold on.
Clancy was going to kind of wrap this up. I guess what I'm asking is, at what point in the timeline did you go, you know what, maybe let's breach?
Well, we always knew that there were more songs to be added to Clancy. We just didn't know exactly, you know, there was a moment where we thought we were just going to add songs to the record. And anytime I would tell someone that, you know, I would go to my local coffee shop and, you know, one of the guys that works there always asks how things are going. And I tell him, you know, we're going to add some songs to the record to kind of like wrap it up. And he goes, oh, like a deluxe.
Yeah, it's such a weird word, especially in this context, right? It's
my heart sank. It was just like, that's how you describe fast food.
I was waiting for you to say it, right? It's just like the great deal breaker, especially for this, because you've just built this beautiful, entirely immersive thing. And it's like, let's just snap you out of a spell and bring you into the record industry reality of deluxe. Right. It's like, no.
And Josh and I talked about, like, there's no other way to really, in our culture right now, with the way that we consume music, there's no real, that's the easiest way to describe adding songs to a record is deluxe. And it almost makes it seem like they were songs that didn't quite make the cut at first or whatever. And, you know, we live in this industry right now is all about just trying to, like, add stuff to records to give them another like second, third life type of thing, and we're not into that. So we knew that this had to live as its own record, its own album.
It would have been the first and only misstep in an otherwise flawless execution, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No, but you know what I mean. You see all the things behind the scenes that you wish could have been done better. But from fans' point of view, since you arrived in 2015 with this particular era of the band, it's been fascinating to see you bring it to life. So I want to talk a little bit about, like, at this point, the undertaking of it all, because it's one thing to put an album out with artwork and visuals and things, and that's a beautiful creative exercise. But then you got to bring it to life live, and then you have to make sure that the messaging and the way you're engaging with people is in line with this. It must have felt at times very overwhelming in a great way, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the big overwhelming part, I think, sometimes happens the day that tour cycle for an album ends, because, starting from zero and creating a record and then putting a show together that kind of is the visual representation of that album. It's like the most fun part, but it's also like the most challenging part. And then when we're on tour, especially like, halfway through a tour, that's where it starts to feel like, oh man, okay, we can kind of coast on this for a little bit and actually kind of sit back and enjoy the thing that we made in a way that we're able to kind of like see it objectively. And then that tour ends, and then it's like, oh man, now it's kind of straight back to square one. So I feel like anytime kind of that last day of tour, it's kind of like this bittersweet thing where it's like, man, we're kind of putting this portion of the story kind of like to rest, but now it's time to get back to work.
Well, I wondered if that's what prompted you to get back to work so fast, because you only just wrapped that particular tour up in the UK. We're all watching these shows, we're all watching you continue to add legs and figure it out. That comes to an end. And then we're right back with the contract and with Breach. And so I wonder whether or not it's like, look, let's just keep going because we're in that rhythm. You know what I mean? We know what we're doing.
I think that we were always curious about the concept of releasing music. We've been using the phrase in stride because the way that we've been doing it up until now is, we go away, we take a moment, we disappear, we come back with a record. And I think that, I imagine like standing in a town hall or something and raising your hands and be like, okay, now we're ready to release a record.
That was dark.
Who's all, interested? It's tough to gather everyone who even would say that they're fans of our music all at once. So to kind of announce an album and announce a new era in stride with the previous album, it does seem like we had everyone's attention. And we're really excited about kind of bringing fans along and not worrying about trying to, get everyone's attention all at once. And I think that also, as I get older, especially, I feel like...
you look younger.
It's a filter.
Oh, you got portrait on. No, but it's a cinematic. No, but it's okay, that's the only misstep in an otherwise flawless execution. You went cinematic on us. No,
It is so cinematic.
I don't even know how to do that. How do you do that?
No,
Is there a way to make me look hotter?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Tyler, that's impossible. but we'll send someone over, put you on cinematic mode. Anyway,
that's the reason why you were the only interview we were going to take.
Kill them with kindness, they say. I digress. You were saying as you mature somewhat.
Yeah. As I get older as a creative, the way I would describe creating songs is it's a little grotesque, but vomiting on the table and just like whatever comes out. And when you're younger, it seems like you just have a lot more stuff come out just naturally.
But I mean, that's kind of how we've been.
I don't know why it is.
But that's how the creative process should be. You just make a bunch of different things.
As we get older, it does feel like
I wouldn't call it vomiting, but I'd call it brainstorming.
That comes out, but we do feel like we've learned how to organize it better. So as we're realizing, there's less coming out, we know now kind of have some wisdom on what to do and how to piece it together and how to make it something. So I felt that as a songwriter. I still have something.
Oh yeah, there's so many questions in this song. I mean, there's unresolved. This is an unresolved experience. If you listen to it really lyrically, I think it feels there's a lot of like, what is this feeling? What's going on? Like, is it lights out yet? Like, what is happening? There's just a lot of questions going on in this song.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's good.
That's great.
The other thing with this melody on the contract specifically, I've gotten to the point where as I'm singing melodies and working on a lyric and a point of view, I have my, kind of go-to, my tools in the tool belt of how I would sing something or how I would melodically move throughout chords. And this song particularly, I was like, I need to just rethink what a good melody even is.
How do you do that? How do you break the spell? How do you put yourself in the uncomfortable?
You take exactly what came natural and you do the opposite. And so for me, the chorus of Contract, like when I was first starting to sing over this chord progression, it just was like, I've done this. You know, I've heard this. Like, what if I were to jump up higher, quicker, and then come back down? And like previous version of me would never think I can go
Yeah.
Like there's just almost as I'm seeing the melody drawn out, like I would never have done that. And I just really forced myself to kind of rewire what I think a good melody even is.
What a beautiful process. What an incredible experience to be able to sit there and have the self-awareness to know that you're finding yourself in a place of comfort, right? Hard-earned comfort, but it's still comfortable, and that's not what we come to you for. You know that as a band. You know, you make things deliberately uncomfortable for yourselves. Your shows are uncomfortable experiences at the best possible way. So it's like, you know, it's on brand, guys. It's on brand. It's really nice to see you. I mean, you know, I'm just going to sing for myself. I'm going to invite myself to the wedding. So we've spoken a few times over the course of this experience, and I'm sure the last thing you want to do is sit down and kind of crawl through another curious Kiwi conversation. But I kind of feel at 10 years, Breach wrapping up a pretty exceptional era of art for 21 Pilots and for fans. Then maybe there's an opportunity for us to, I don't know, get this particular band back together and kind of dive into it one last time. But I'll leave that for you guys to decide later.
Yes.
Yeah. Another little listen.
Wow. Oh, the drums. Woo! Wow.
That's so cool.
So that means
That is insane.
Tyler and Josh did it again.
Yeah.
I feel like it is. I know, right?
It's so cool. I'm gonna
this is
have
something
this.
I would have on loop.
Yeah, I am gonna have this on loop for.
In a mental breakdown at night.
Yeah,
I will definitely listen to this in loop.
This is a really also like a club.
It is.
It is a club song.
I want to, if I knew how to drive, I want to go at night and the freeway.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
The lights passing me.
That'd be so cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I would probably cause a crash if I did that.
God, it's so
what
cool.
What does it mean? The lyrics have so much meaning. His lyricism is so insanely good that oh my gosh, all of the songs you showed me, I spent hours just like kind of looking at the meaning a little bit because he has so many layers to it.
Yeah.
And it's connected to the story too. And the thing is they put their story in the tours too. Yeah. That's why when we saw him holding the jacket, I was like, oh, that's what he did on tour.
Because all throughout tour, the torchbearer character would go up to Clancy and give him his jacket.
Like, join our team. They're the banditos, right?
And there was a point in which Clancy started to kind of hesitate, but he would still always take the jacket.
It took longer and longer.
Then, on the last show, he didn't take the jacket. And it just like...
He walked past him.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it freaked everyone out.
Show the part of the music video again. It looks so... Yeah. It really gives you chills. Seeing him stare. Yeah. And the way he's fading away, it's kind of like Inside Out. You know, with the Lost Memories? Mm-hmm. Like, they fell in there and they turned gray.
You know, it's crazy that you say that because you just did a really crazy analogy of what's actually happening. Because when I saw this...
When he started...
So what's happening here, it's not just... that it's smearing in the paint in his neck, and that's because of blurry face. It's a technique called smearing. It's a technique called smearing, and it essentially makes you more submissive and forgetful of things. It makes you forget things, which is why in the jumpsuit music video, you see that him getting smeared, and then him going back with blurry face to Dima.
Like almost like he's hallucinating.
Essentially,
he has no memories.
Yeah, essentially, because it makes you forget things and it makes you more controllable, essentially. Which is what I think is happening here.
His memories are fading away.
Essentially.
That's why he walked past the jacket. He doesn't remember.
And it's why this is all kind of fading away, essentially.
Oh my gosh!
But it's crazy that this is all that we get to see just for now.
Until September.
Yeah. And I mean, usually with 21 Pilots, we're gonna get at the very most 4 singles released before the album comes out.
What the hell?
So there's probably at least 3 more singles that could release.
At the very least.
Yeah.
I hope it's a visual album again, like
yeah, definitely.
the last one.
Yeah.
Was it the last one?
Yeah, Clancy was a very visual album. It was
like
completely
music videos for every single song.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I love
But
that.
there were only 3 that were lore related.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lore.
Yeah. The lore. God, that video.
No, but
Yeah.
wow, this is such a way to come back.
It is
a good
insane.
way to come back.
And they
It's
took a
really
year?
cool.
Like
Yeah,
a year
so
and a
it was
because they were on tour at the same time.
Yeah,
too,
so essentially the album cycle usually lasts 3 years between an album release and another album release. So between that they do tours, and then after tour they just kind of take the break or do whatever. And this time essentially it breaks the cycle in half of 3 years. Instead of 3 years, it's gonna be a year and a half.
Oh, it is
releases.
exactly in half. Yeah.
And it's already been a year since Clancy released.
Well,
since like a month or so ago.
Wow.
You told me too that they've been like teasing the numbers 25 a lot for a long time.
Since Clancy released. Yeah.
Oh, really?
The double album theory was big all throughout this.
It is a double album, and it's good though. I love double albums.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying to hear the intro.
So cool. Some parts of the vocals that I want to listen to.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blinds. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that romance is outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet.
It changes the feeling so fast.
Wake up and I find out, did it change up? Wait, did it change up? Is it light out? Yeah, did it find out? Better walk around the edge of the room in the bed where I have my face. Face around, better try to breathe. Face around, face around.
I check the doors, check the windows, and pull the blind. I check the clock, wondering what he'll pull this time. I have a feeling that necromancer is outside, and I'm just trying to stay quiet.
It's like under the
That's crazy, how'd you know that? That's maybe how you know.
What about the bass? Oh wow.
It adds so much. Chandler Joseph has just done the artist that you are.
I promised you a contract. I promised you a contract.
This is incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolute cinema. Yes.
That's crazy. How'd you know that? I gave myself up. That's maybe how you know that. Oh, you still
Wake up and I find out, did it change up? Wait, did it change up? Is it light out? Yeah, did it find out? Better walk around the edge of the room in the bed where I have my